Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be replacing one of Tyler's rear corners. Both of them need to be replaced. You guys might be familiar with this bus, as a few months ago I actually helped him drop his engine, and now I'm back over at his house helping him out with his bus. Now, the first time I went back to his house since helping him drop the engine, we were just going to be replacing the battery tray, even though his rear corner was looking like it was more Bondo than metal. That's a good shot right there, though. But not everybody is trying to restore their bus to the complete original quality as I am. Some people are just trying to get their bus back on the road, and who can blame him? He's a lot closer to having his bus on the road than me. So we went ahead and got the old battery tray removed. You can see that where his light attaches, there's nothing even there. And then I did my best to install the battery tray. I was only able to weld it to one side, and the other side we kind of used panel bond in order to kind of get it to stick to the rust, which panel bond doesn't stick to rust. We found that out. It's a brand new battery tray. For what we were working with at the beginning of the day, I'd say that that's A+. Save for that I blew out. We went around and did a couple more patches on his cargo floor. I still have a few more to do, but we at least made some progress and patched him up. He's getting pretty close to having the inside of his bus dried out, so I'm happy to help with that. But then I had to go home. Now, about a month later, I went back and he had bought all the corners and a bunch more metal that he wanted welded in. Just tack it right over it. And I'm always happy to help out with welding in some patches. I had actually just finished doing my rear corner the day before, and that was the first rear corner I ever did, so I felt pretty confident that I'd be able to do his.
Let me say that's like half an inch of filler over original paint. Oh yeah, we get the measurement. Wow.
Now, I did have to replace his corner a lot higher up, because this whole corner must have been crashed in his bus. Like, it was just caved in and just inches of Bondo put on it. I think I'll never understand why anyone would ever do something like that. And I see it a lot. I've seen these inches of Bondo put on all kinds of vehicles, not only buses. And if you're planning on keeping it for any amount of time, putting all that Bondo over the metal is just going to cause it to rust underneath. It kind of reminds me of my first bus I got 10 years ago, which was a complete rust bucket thanks to whoever owned it previously, just putting inches and inches of Bondo over every single part of the bus. Not only does it cause your paint to crack over it, it's just retaining moisture on your bare metal, and it's just destroying the bus from the inside out. I ground away at the Bondo until I reached the smoothest part of the bare metal that I could find. As, like I said, this entire corner must have been crashed at some point because it was completely caved in. And even where I cut, which was pretty high up, there still were some dents, but I managed to get them out using a hammer and dolly. And here you can appreciate what I would call a top tier hack job.
That's quality right there. How many inches of... Wow. Look at that. We got a rear corner exposed. Now it's time to clean up and make a patch.
With access to the inside, I was able to hammer out where there were some dents that were left behind, and it actually ended up coming out pretty smooth. It just took a little bit of finessing, and I'm trying to learn how to use the hammer and dolly a bit better because I have made mistakes in the past, like that time I oil canned the side of my bus. But we cleaned up the inner structure so that Tyler could get to POR 15ing it while I worked on actually cutting out the bottom of his D-pillar because it was completely rusted out and there was no way to mount his bumper. Unfortunately, he didn't have the inner D-pillar replacement panels like I had bought, so I just fabricated something pretty quick with whatever metal we had laying around. And the point of this repair is so that he can have something to mount his bumper to, because there was nothing to mount it to there before. It was just completely rusted out. This seems to be pretty common, as the last two buses have had the same issue. Once Tyler got all the rusty bits treated in POR, I welded in my lower D-pillar replacement, and well, it came out good enough.
Like cut and paste.
Nut and bolt.
I love it, man.
The point is, he's going to have somewhere to attach his bumper to, and that is what matters. At this point, we got to mocking up the fitment of the rear corner. Now, this repair took me in total maybe 4 hours, which I was pretty proud of, as he does live pretty far from my house, and I can't be going back and forth all the time. So I decided I'm going to get this rear corner done in half a day, because that's all the time I had. I got to his house maybe at 2 o'clock, and I was there until 6. So yeah, that's 4 hours. And we managed to get the entire rear corner replaced in that amount of time. Now, like I said, I had just finished doing my rear corner the day before. Literally, it hadn't even been 24 hours that I had welded in my rear corner that I was moving on to doing his. And well, there were a lot of steps that I would do on mine that we skipped in his, but he's gonna have the bus in his house, and he could go ahead and remove all the transport primer later and deal with all that kind of stuff, as I like to do it before, but I didn't have time to do it the way that I would do it myself. But the results were still, impressive. I'm happy with it. I think I'm getting better at doing these replacement pieces. And here you can see the before and after, a complete crust to non-rust. Just like that, my work here is done. A happy Tyler. Look at that. It looks better from here.
It looks great, dude.
If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. On the next episode, we will be working on Tangi's other rear corner, and there will be more work done on Tyler's bus in the future. So if you're interested in that kind of content, I will see you on Sunday.
One thing we're good at, and it's nut tapping.